What's up, Entourage?
What up, dog? What's going on, man? What's up, Big Stu? What you got going on today?
Man, you know what's new with me is this car that I just picked up, man. You know, I work all my life. You know, like when you're a little kid, you play with cars. You're like, one day I can become president, right? But that wasn't me. It's like one day I'm gonna own some badass cars. Like, and I'm not even a car guy. I couldn't even tell you what engine shit has and stuff, man. I just fucking think they're beautiful pieces of machinery, you know? And Friday, obviously you were there with me, man. They dropped off that McLaren, man. It fucking changed my life. Just like there was a moment when I had a kid for the first time, right? You get married to the woman of your dreams, and then when they drop off your first exotic car, man, I almost got teary-eyed and shit now thinking about it, man.
Well, you got teary-eyed then, so, I mean,
Yeah.
I recorded it, so we got that on video.
Dude, man, it's pretty sick. You know, I was just like you, man, I never ridden inside of one, let alone drove one. So like they dropped it off and, you know, shit was me, you, and Johnny Fowler and Billy, and I think James was here too, like, you know, at work. So we went downstairs. I remember I came in here and we were recording this, I believe. We recorded an episode of this, and I was like, man, it's going to be the longest hour of my life.
Yeah, I bet it was, man.
And dude, they came like 10 minutes later. I'm like, this is awesome.
They were early,
Yeah, they were.
Stays busy.
That's cool, man. You still got to give me a ride in that back.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I gotta give the security guard a ride too.
Yeah.
So we got this, you know, we got the sticker thing. For those that don't know, you know, we got a parking lot here where they will sticker yo shit. They will put a big green motherfucking sticker right on your motherfucking window and ruin your motherfucking day. And I didn't want that on my McLaren, right? Because then I'm gonna have to ruin somebody else's day if I gotta go scrape a fucking sticker off my supercar. I'm gonna be so fucking mad. So instead of being all dickheaded and mean, I just simply went and talked to security. I'm like, I'm gonna park this car here, and please don't put a sticker on it. I won't leave it there often, but when I do come here, I'm gonna leave it there so I keep an eye on it outside my windows. People ain't laying on it, taking selfies and stuff. There's some byproducts to owning a nice car that I didn't know about, right? And so I had to buy her lunch, right? But we cool now. So we bought the lady lunch, no green stickers. And but you know, I get all proud of this McLaren. I'm like, dude, you know, shit. I text my old neighbor, because you don't really know, but back when I lived in this penthouse in Dallas, I think you came and visited me once, but like not in the one that I ended up living in. It was like a temporary unit I was in when you and I met up. And so my neighbor, he had two McLarens and like a Ferrari. No, he had two Ferraris. He had a McLaren P1, a McLaren 650. Which is like most expensive, and at the time, second most expensive.
Right.
He had a 488, I think, Ferrari, a Ferrari California, an Aston Martin Vanquish, Bentley Flying Spur,
And a Lamborghini, didn't he?
And he had a Lamborghini Huracan, yeah. and like a BMW, like that he drove every day, like a SUV BMW, right? And that's the first time I'd ever seen a McLaren in real life. Like, you know, I didn't even know. I had to ask him. I was like, what the fuck are those things, man? It's like this Nike, these little red checks. Is Nike making cars now, right? Like, what's going on there? And I just kind of fell in love with them. So I've wanted one ever since. So last night I texted him. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? I finally got one. I told you I was going to get one. It took me 3 years, but I finally got one, right? And he's like, okay, cool, man. You know, I just ordered 2 more, and he goes on to tell me details about his car. He's got $4 million in McLaren sitting in his garage right now. This is crazy. One of them is like called a P15. It's like a $2 million car. Like, that is nuts.
With all these cars?
You just keep them. He flipped the last one. He flipped the last one and made $1 million for it. He bought it for $997 and sold it for like $2.1 million.
That's crazy.
He made more that year in 2014 from owning that car than I made from working my ass off all year long.
Looks like you're getting into the right business then.
Well, we'll see. You know,
deal on that thing too, right?
and I told him, yeah, I did, and I told him that I was like, well, you know, I got a 12C, so I'm not up there where you're at right now. You know what I mean? But I had to get an entry. I had to enter. He's about 30 years older than I am. Like, I had to get an entry into this world, and so now I got to in. You know, now I'm starting to build it up.
That's the thing about the whole you get in the car. You're not just like, I just gotta get it. You're actually putting it to work for you.
Yeah. What's like your first boat? You know what I mean? You have a $150,000 boat now, which is the equivalent of my car. You know what I mean? But when you just bought this boat recently, you've had other boats that led up to that. Because like, who knows? Maybe you didn't like boating. You know? Maybe I don't like driving McLarens, and I'm like, fuck, thank God I didn't get the most expensive one and take a hit on it and shit. You know?
I knew exactly what I was looking for. gearbox, man. That took like 45 minutes, and that's hard manual labor. I was like, I'm never gonna do this again. I'm gonna get everything switches.
Yep.
I got everything switches.
That's
cool, man.
I kind of came out on top on my Harley, you know, like all things considered, I did make a trade on that one. And it was kind of the same thing. I pretty much just drove this bike around, and it all came out as I didn't pay anything for it at all, you know.
Yep.
But I had it, and I drove it around, and it was just that kind of thing where you could do that with, I guess.
I did the math on my bike, and with all the ads, remember mine was decked out, you know, and with all the ads and shit that I did to it, it cost me like $2,000 to drive that bike for 3 years. You know, it's like $80 a month or some shit, probably less than that, you know. So it was like. But that's counting insurance. No, that was counting insurance.
Really?
Yeah, that was like the majority of the, because I only paid like $8,000 for the bike, and then I sold it for 10 to Rachel Evers, and maybe I sold it to her for 12, but whatever it was, right? So let's say I had like whatever into it. So the insurance and gas was really my only cost of owning the thing. Same with this McLaren. You know, the idea is that I bought it right so that I can, you know, sit on it for 6 months to a year and don't really put many miles on it and then turn around and sell it. And because really what I want is a 570 GT. And it's like it's what replaced the car I have. It's made for the road. So it's like more of a touring car as opposed to the race car, right? And but they run about 288.
You sell the
So
yeah.
You get just I'll work the deal with you like I did with Pat. It's like just toss you the keys like you got it now.
We'll work the deal.
The thing that's fucked up though is the insurance on those. They make you, of course you already got a truck, but they make you prove that you have another vehicle. So they made you, they made me prove that I had another vehicle. They made me prove that I had a garage space available for it.
Right.
And then they say I can only drive 3,000 miles a year.
Wow.
So,
That's crazy.
which is fine. I don't put 5,000 on the Maserati and I drove it every day, you know. Well, you live a lot, it's only 3 miles from me and work here.
That's true.
I told Brandy, I met her here at 8:30 this morning. I told her that I would, I'm gonna be late. It only took me 10 minutes to get here in traffic, so.
I'll tell you one thing is different. Like that Maserati, man, I'm gonna come up way, and I appreciate the helping hand on that one, man, as far as that goes. But like, I got a car on your birthday, so that's awesome.
Yeah, you can't beat that deal, man.
Yeah, anyway, well, it's like totally different now, though. I'm like, I got some bird shit on it yesterday, and I was like, holy fuck.
You used to just let that shit sit, but now you're like, fuck, I gotta go wash it again.
Hell yeah.
It was funny when I drove it the other night. And I mean, when I hopped in, he had it way back, lean back. Gangster leaning.
Hell yeah, I was all the way back.
Hell yeah.
Can't nobody sit in the back seat. But in the Fusion, I'm just like, I have the seat like all the way up. I'm just driving to work. You know, I got the podcast on and everything. And that one, I'm back here. Yeah.
It's cool, man.
It's
Too much bass, that's why. It's too much bass.
It's just like, I don't know. You hooked that sound system up, man.
Yep.
So I can only imagine when you were driving that shit around, man.
Yeah, I like that car, man. It's a very classy car. Very classy car.
Yeah, it is.
But so I reached out to one of my friends, obviously, and he's telling me he's got $4 million worth of McLarens. And then that was this morning. And then I get another message from a friend of mine. He's like, hey, I just bought a jet. and I had lunch yesterday with a friend of mine who's like, yeah, I just sold my jet.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm like sitting here thinking, it's like, man, you know, I'm surrounded by winners. You know, you never really win at the game of life, right? Because it's like an infinite game. Remember, what was the first game that came out where like you used to play like you have Mario Brothers, and then there was the castle on the 12th level, and then that was it for the game. But then remember, like by Super Mario 3 came out, and it was like no end. It just kept going, right? And like there was like no end to the levels, and it's like if you made it to level 1,000, it just did some shit, and 1,001 popped out, right? And so that's kind of how life is. You never really win, right? Now you can be winning, and you can do winner shit, but you never really win at the game of life, because ultimately you die, which is a loss anyway, right? Right. And so I think there's always ways to level up in who you surround yourself with, right? Because there's always somebody like, I'm playing on this used car. I'm all thinking I'm fancy with this used car that I got, and then my friends are buying jets and sitting on waiting lists for $2 million cars. That's what I'm saying. It's who you surround yourself with. And the guy that was my neighbor in the penthouse in 2014, like that was the inspiration for me this whole time to be like, hey man, I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna get in this club. And it's amazing when you see somebody set the bar a certain way. It's like, if this guy owns fucking 7 cars, surely I can own 1, right? Right? If this guy's got a fucking fleet of like, I'd never seen that shit except for like on Arab Money official Instagram account. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd never seen nothing like that. on some shit that, like some shit that they had to call all their homies over to fucking put them together. And this guy owns them all. But they showed me what was possible. And, just to take a minute to plug our business, we show people what's possible every day too. When people join our Break Free Academy Entourage program, they come in and they see people that are making funnels and making a difference in businesses' lives and making a difference in their lives and recruiting people to come work for them and employing people that were previously unemployed or giving somebody that was previously underemployed a better opportunity. And we see these people come in and then somebody becomes successful, and it really causes the whole network to have to level up. Just like, hey, I got this used car, but now I got like friends with jets and multiple cars. It's going to cause me to, and it's not a who has the most toys thing. It's just a reflection of what you're doing for the marketplace, cause you to level up, right?
You're we've got our cars and everything like that, but you're the next level for us. By having what you have, so I mean, I don't really get too wrapped up in it's not like a big who's got a bigger dick contest or anything like that, but it's just a byproduct of what's happening in the marketplace, what we're offering, the value that we're putting out there, and that's just the way I see it, man. That's just what's going to happen.
Well, I tell you what, with 100% certainty, like I've never been so certain about anything in my life, that McLaren did not make my dick get any bigger. It didn't. It's still the fucking same size today as it was last Friday. Motherfucker. So whoever started that rumor about, he's compensating for a tiny dick. What am I compensating for? It's still the same goddamn size, right? There's nothing fucking changed here. So
If anything, you're gonna get more blowjobs.
Exactly. I got married recently, so that's probably fucking over, but
Maybe so.
I don't know about you, man. My shit got a foot longer with that fucking Maserati, man. I'm feeling like King Kong.
It's like the Grinch's heart. He's like, and at that moment, Pat's dick grew 3 times in size.
It's funny if you do the math, you can hear what he's telling you.
Yeah, I could only imagine though, like, cause I made the switch was different than you. You went from like you have a legit piece of shit Fusion to this like Maserati.
Damn.
So, and like, well, Lindsay, same thing with
That's
her.
true,
She
yeah.
had this like piece of shit car, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And then now she's rolling in a brand new Infiniti as well. So like, I could imagine to you, it's like, but now you're living, and you say that I'm the next level, but now you're living in a penthouse, high-rise apartment, right? About the same length up the floor of the building as I lived in the one that I was in, right?
Yeah.
If you take the measurements exactly, now you're driving the Maserati. So you are on the level that I was at 3 years ago, I guess I would say. And income-wise, you're on the same thing, which is about the time that you started working here. So it is cool. I never thought of it like I'm the next level for y'all, because I'm always trying to friend up.
Next level of working, because I've never seen anybody work as hard as you do, man. So like that's to me is the best thing, to do, is to like have you there to know that like I'm not going like have that grade sheet every day. Like if I had somebody above me that was not putting in the work and was slacking off and everything, I would just see that. Man, why do I want to do that? So I think that's cool. And you say that the events too. One of the best moments from one of the last events that we did. Maybe it was the Break Free Academy, two Break Free Academies ago, that you told everybody in the room, like none of y'all work harder than I do. None of y'all work harder. I can promise you that. And why would you want to be around people or have mentors that weren't working harder than you, that weren't putting in the work like that?
True.
So if you work harder than me and I have that benchmark, then I'm going to level up. And so I have over a space of time, just gradually but at a good pace. So I've seen you too, man.
Exactly, man. What I was about to say is, when I saw that your car getting backed out of that thing on Instagram at the trailer that it came in, it inspired me. I was like, man, this dude, like when we were talking back in the car business, 2011 was telling me that all this shit was gonna happen, and it's all coming true for him, man. It just helps me want to level up, man. It's just so crazy, and you've been there the whole time, man, to help me level up. Like you're a level above me. He's a level above all of us. So I know that you're always striving to get like him, and I'm always striving to kind of get like you, man. And it's just that's the atmosphere that we bring to the table, man. All the way around with every one of the salespeople, the whole fucking team. We're always just trying to level up, man, and it's awesome to be a part of that.
So last night, I know I said this in the sales meeting, but I'm gonna repeat it for the purpose of the show here. But last night I'm watching the Def Comedy 25, right? It's on Netflix. If you got Netflix, you should check it out. And I sat down last night behind the computer when I got home, and then I had one of those like, fuck it, I've been working hard. Like, dude, get the step away from the computer, Ryan,
Yeah.
Yep.
and like go relax. And about that time, an email came across. I pull up my phone, I look, it's an email that says, you know, suggested for you by Netflix. And I go check out the Def Comedy Jam, like, that's perfect, you know? I go check out the Def Comedy Jam. And I thought it was gonna be stand-up comedy, because I like stand-up. Like, you know, if, Green Juice got me all gassy, if there was something that I could do other than what I do now, it would be comedy, because I like putting smiles on people's face, you know? Half the things that I say at Break Free Academy are out of hilarity, you know, not necessarily education, right? And so I'm watching these stand-ups because that's obviously a passion. It's like that and internet marketing are the only things I got going for me, right? And at one point, the guys like Chappelle and Cat Williams and Martin Lawrence and all these people are standing on stage and they look out to Russell Simmons and they say, hey, thanks to you, we're all millionaires. You know, Steve Harvey, I just looked him up. He's worth $140 million. He got his break because of Def Jam.
Yep.
You know, matter of fact, when they were sitting there, they were trying to get him in there. They're talking shit, shenanigans. He's like, not today. I got a job. I can tell you ain't gonna mess my money up, man. He's hilarious. He's like, you ain't gonna catch me saying MFer on here, man. You ain't messing my payday up. And so, but I look and, you know, they were saying thanks to Russell Simmons, we're all millionaires. He's like, look around, we're in a room full of millionaires that you've created. You know, and that's what I want to do one day, you know, for not just for you guys, our clients, obviously, and everything else, but one day I'd like to be in a room full of people that I've made business owners and employees and everything that I've helped become millionaires. I mean, shit, what more fulfilling could you imagine, you know?
Absolutely. That's a higher level of thinking too, you know, like people, I was thinking about that the other day, how people like talking about, you know, the shit that they have and, you know, always on Facebook with the shit that they have showing out. And of course I would do that with the McLaren, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm just saying there's levels to the shit. But I would like, but just to put that out there, man, we want the higher level of shit out of this stuff. You know, what am I saying? We want something that's greater than, you know, these material objects that are out there, and which is helping
the
our
car
people.
just gets people's attention.
Yeah.
You know, hey, this car's the best business card I ever got. Never in my life have I got out of a vehicle and somebody been like, hey, what do you do for a living? Don't fucking ask me what I do for a living. I will tell you and sell you, son. Like, don't give me an opportunity to talk about business. You know, shit, and all I gotta do is direct them to hardcorecloser.com. They'd be like, oh, this motherfucker's legit. I seen him in a McLaren. Boom, we got Entourage members. You know?
That brings more people to the table.
Absolutely, man.
I was selling my dentist yesterday, man. She was like, so what do you do for a living? I was like, oh, really?
You were at the dentist yesterday?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I gotta go back today, man. I gotta go see a specialist. Anyways, that's for a whole nother story.
Man, you know what? I'm gonna share something with y'all. For like the last 2 months, my mouth been bleeding just a little bit,
get real here, man.
and my shit's been fucked up, and I didn't know what to do. Right? I'm like, man, I guess I just go back to the. They put a cap on my tooth, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, damn, I guess I'm just fucking doomed to like my shit being fucked up. Felt like y'all seen that movie with 50 Cent where he had the shit in his where his jaw was wired shut. I felt like something was messed up over here. Well, I went in there yesterday and I was explaining to her that, you know, I'm bleeding somewhere. I need you to check out, figure out what's up, plug that shit or whatever, right? And she goes, oh, the problem is with your bite. Let me adjust it. Well, she grabbed this little hammer thing. I thought she was going to fucking hit my jaw or some shit, right? But they end up just drilling this tooth a different way, man. Oh, dude, I'm a fucking different person.
Really?
I had one problem in my life. It is gone now.
Really?
Right?
Holy
It's like, dude, man, she fixed it. Like, I bit down, I was like, this fixes everything, right?
Really?
Like, holy shit, why did I wait a month to come? I put it off last week not thinking they could fix it. I thought they were going to say, you're fucked, buddy. You just have to deal with it. That's usually what
you have pressure or some shit?
she didn't drill enough off of the tooth cap when she put it in there. So say it was like that long and she just needed to fucking take some. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
She fixed it in a matter of seconds. Didn't even have to numb me or nothing. I'm like,
It's way better, huh?
now my teeth line up again. I thought this is something. I was like, man, maybe I got something growing on me or some shit, pushing my
Man,
teeth.
y'all
like,
got me fucked up, man. Both of y'all have got me like, now I'm going to the dentist.
You got to go to
like
the
next
dentist,
week,
man. My dentist is good, man. My dentist is
go
good.
to his, man.
Yeah.
My
She
was
just
so
right down
angry.
at Beltline in
Yeah.
Preston too, man. So.
She kept hitting my nerve when I was in it because I had to get her, like, okay, so my ex-wife, her dad was a dentist. He fixed my tooth originally, but I didn't ever get the actual permanent on there, so I just had that temporary, and it broke off. Like,
Ooh,
and I let it go for
that
like a
mean.
year, dude. And it was like starting to like make my breast thinking, you know, I'm a clean dude. I was like, fuck this, I gotta get it handled. Anyways, well, they fixed it. Well, it broke off again. So they were supposed to fix it for like, for good yesterday, and I broke it off last week, so now I gotta go see a specialist to make sure that they can fix it again.
He got that hurry up shrimp breath. You remember that from the Family Guy?
No, I've never seen that one.
He goes to the doctor, he's like, Peter's breath is horrible, and the doctor pulls this piece of shrimp out of his mouth, and then he's like, oh, that was your problem. He's like, hurry up shrimp, and it's like a commercial, and he's like, hurry up shrimp, and then he like hangs up the phone from ordering shrimp, and then like the shrimp guy's already there, kind of like Jimmy John's or whatever, right? And it's like, shrimp might be grossly undercooked, right? Like in the commercial. It's pretty funny.
Need that one.
So if you want to be a part of our network, then I would like to invite you to go over to breakfreeacademy.com/entourage. You can read all about the program, see the videos, stuff like that. But like, join our network, right? I'm on a mission, as you can tell, just by the way that we're talking, to create millionaires. I'd like to help you be one, help you become one if you're not already. I don't promise you anything, but we do have the workload if you're willing to accept the mission. So, all right, let's change gears a little bit, man. When we were just hanging out in Ryan's truck a few minutes ago, right, doing whatever, they were talking about like the FBI is involved in an investigation with the NCAA, right? I'll ask him first. How do you feel? How do you feel that the FBI, something that's funded by your tax dollars, is spending your tax dollars to look into something that's one of the richest entities in the world that has, there's no harm, right? Like, it's just not doing any harm to no one. Like, what do you think about it?
I feel like they could just be obviously doing something a little bit better with our tax dollars and then looking into the NCAA. I mean, what did you say that they were talking about? They were like paying college kids for playing?
That Nike and stuff was paying college kids part of it. And,
Who gives a shit?
but this is what tripped me up. They said the FBI covered up for them.
Oh, really?
So they were saying that like they were being like Nike was being investigated, and then the FBI like covered some shit up to where the investigation didn't go through.
It's weird.
Now the FBI is a very loose term. That could be like FBI agent Travis, not necessarily the whole entity. You know what I mean? So the media is very wicked with their tricks like that. But do you remember when steroids in baseball was a big deal? Jose Canseco, you remember that guy?
Yeah, I do remember that, yeah.
So you remember Roger Clemens? You remember that guy, the Rocket?
Yep.
Remember that he played for the Yankees and the Astros? He's like one of the best pitchers ever. And they wanted him to say he was doing drugs, remember? Mm-hmm. Say you're on steroids. No! Say you're on steroids. No! Say you're on steroids. I was not on steroids, right? They took that motherfucker to the House, the Senate, the Congress, the White House, the Black House, the Gray House, every fucking in between. There's no telling how many billions of dollars in private jets were flown to the Capitol to be able to, like, dude, I mean, just an immense amount of stupid fucking money. Because you look and you're like, tax revenue was like $14 billion. How come our city's so poor, right? What the fuck do you do with $14 billion bucks, right? And you start looking at what true costs are and you're like, something doesn't make sense here, right? And so Clemens, man, he taps out of the league altogether. He's like, I just got a $108 million contract that I wrapped up. That's done. I've done my 10th year. I'm fucking out, right? And it was something like that, something ridiculous at the time. He was like the highest paid pitcher ever. But you remember they like strung him through all this shit and Sammy Sosa until Sammy Sosa finally went, you know. And then what they do is they say, well, if you just tell us that you did it, we'll leave you alone. Yeah. Well, what the fuck do you care? Right? If that's what fucking happens, what the fuck do you even care? Why are we spending this money? So I feel like that with the NCAA people is like, why do we even fucking care? Do you care? Do you give a fuck that the kids are maybe making some money?
No, not at all. I think they should. That takes a lot of time. Yeah. You know, it's like a full-time job.
I'm on team fuck college, right?
Yeah,
like I think college is putting out a bunch of fucking idiots these days. Mark Cuban says you're better off to go to trade school. Yeah. And when we look at colleges that are highlighted, we look at very, very like artsy, and that shit doesn't pay the bills, right? I got 0 artist friends making millions of dollars right now. And so I'm not saying that artists don't make millions of dollars, they usually do, but after they die. Yeah. Right? Like Van Gogh's shit wasn't worth shit when he was alive.
I'm just saying on the college stuff, I'm like fuck college, but I'm also like I'm more so fuck big government.
Which college is the establishment? They're one and the same, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's where they put the lawyers out from. That's where they put the people that go to give the political influence. Because people go to school for political science. So you can go to college to learn how to be a politician even though you've never done fucking anything in your life. And you can come right out into like, it's just crazy that we even allow this shit. I don't think you should be able to even get involved in the government until you've made $1 million on your tax return and you've started a business, right? I don't think you should even be like, there's no way Joe Schmo, the fucking sheep farmer from East Texas should be able to run for governor, right? Joe Schmo has no fucking experience, you know? But anyway, so back to this NCAA. So we go in and we knows all this shit. We find out the FBI is crooked, and we find out like this, that, and the other, but who gives a fuck? Really, like, who gives a fuck? So the kids are playing basketball, getting paid a little bit of money. I think that the kids should get paid some money because college is overpaid anyway. Colleges make all this money. They're a 501c3, they're tax exempt, so they're a nonprofit organization. So all the alumni that give money, they get the tax write-off from it. A lot of people don't know this.
Don't they take the college makes the money off of their sportsmanship?
And they ain't gotta pay taxes
yeah,
on that
fuck
shit.
that. Yeah,
And they ain't gotta pay taxes on
that's just
it.
that's some bullshit government fucking intertwining into the education system and trying to get their way, man. Trying to make their money. People on the other end. Somebody's on the other end sucking it up.
Look up Jason Garrett look up Bill Belichick's salary. And then since you got a computer, look up, let's see, what's the dude from Arkansas?
We bring our tops.
7.5 million.
So he makes $7.5 million a year. Look up the head coach of Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Not Arkansas, Alabama.
I don't even know the names of these fucking colleges.
Me neither.
Bro.
So I'm saying
Alabama.
coach. Alabama head coach. Right. Fucking terrible at sports.
Yeah.
It's like
We're just typing.
Nick Saban.
Yeah, Nick Saban. How much is Nick Saban's salary?
Let's see what this bitch is. Nick Saban's.
11.125 million in 2017.
College making more than the pros. You see what I'm saying? Those are the two winningest coaches in the league.
Double almost.
Those are the two coaches in the league, right? Belichick's the winningest coach in the league, and Saban.
motherfucker.
And so they're
Winning Super Bowl.
think about it. These poor kids are working their ass off. They come from the hood. They can't afford shit, right? Because most people get a job playing basketball or football because they work their ass up from fucking DeSoto, not Highland Park. That's just fucking how it is around here, right? That's the way. It's that way everywhere, right? These are the one fucking chance you got to get out of the hood and carry your family with you and shit like that. Then they got to go through all the college and they can't make any money. But then they got to focus on basketball and not getting another job and all this, but yet they can't make any money. So they got to go into student loan debt. So as soon as they sign a fucking deal, if they make it to the NBA, they got to give fucking $1 million away to the taxes and the student loan debt they got to fucking pay off. If they don't go to the NBA, then fuck, they might have student loan. And you think, well, they get a scholarship. What do they need a student loan for? You still need fucking walking around money.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't have a job because you're playing basketball full time or football full time or too cool for a job or whatever the case. So I think they should make money. I think that it's fucking greedy of the colleges, but I guarantee you the colleges are the ones that expose this shit, right? They're paying our players, you know, because they don't want to fucking.
Oh, they put it out there.
They don't want to have to pay them. They want it to stay away. Dude, if I didn't have to pay you guys, I love you, but if I didn't have to pay you and you were still willing to work for me, like, fuck, man, that's another $1 million a year in my pocket, you know?
They still got the carrot dangling in front of them to go to the NFL, you know, so they're going to work that.
Yep.
They're going to take it.
Man. That's how they take it.
And then I guess what are the odds of actually getting into professional football? Because I don't know many of them.
There's you do a better, like, football's a bad bet.
Yeah, it is.
It's injury prone, and most people don't finish their contracts, and there's only 28 teams or some shit like that. There's not very many.
I don't know anybody who's went pro, and I've come from a bunch of country towns, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's
some talent.
I know some after the fact pros, but I don't know anybody. Well, I know pro athletes, but not in football. That like came from my hometown. Cody Ross and me went to school together, and he won the World Series with San Francisco Giants a few years ago, I think. And his sister was like the hottest chick in school. Shout out Cody. And so anyway.
Cody, if you're listening.
Yeah, both of his sisters were hot. Cody, if you're listening, come on, sit in with us if you're back in town. But football, there's only let's say 28 teams. And, you know, there's only 24 starting positions, maybe 30 starting positions on the team. So there's 60 people times 28 teams. There's only a couple of hundred fucking employees that they're rolling through there, you know, only a few hundred. And so that's like an elite shit. And most of those guys don't last very long because they get injured. You fucking got full-grown goddamn dangerous motherfuckers chasing you down trying to kill you, you know. Meanwhile, the best bet to beat professional sports is golf. Those guys get fucking bank, right? Like, you could be a shitty PGA fucking card holder and still make $175,000 a year, and guess what? Nobody's trying to hit you. You get to drink while you do your job.
Unless you're Tiger Woods.
Unless you're Tiger Woods, and they could try to hit you.
You
yes.
have someone carry all your equipment everywhere you get to
Yeah.
on a golf cart, and they got a coach, definitely.
travel the most beautiful places on the planet.
Yep, the greenest grass.
Is that where they are? The courses are at the
I
best
mean,
places?
look how beautiful the course by my house is, and it's just
Yeah.
like a regular, it's not PGA material. Imagine a PGA course, and then baseball's another good one. You don't get a lot of injuries in baseball,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of teams in baseball, and
Yeah,
there's a
baseball's
lot of players on a team in baseball.
I still think baseball is extremely hard to get into to what Taylor was telling us. He's like, baseball is like one of the hardest sports to get into.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
because there's
baseball's-
so many different levels before you
There
can get
is.
to Pro A, AA, AAA, all this other crazy shit.
Baseball's hard to play anyway, man. Like swinging a round bat at a round ball, that's no bullshit,
I got hit in the face 3 times playing baseball, and after the 3rd time, I never played baseball again.
I thought you were gonna say after the 3rd time, I got glasses.
This obviously is not made for me. Getting hit in the face with a ball, I'm out.
Yeah, I can't throw a ball because my wrist doesn't move.
Yeah.
So like when I throw, I have to throw like this.
That's the way they did on that Rookie of the Year. Remember that?
Yeah.
He had the arm. Popped the dude
Funky
in the-
butt loving. Remember that? He hit the doctor. He fucking smacked him. He's like, funky butt loving.
Did you just say funky butt leather?
That's the addiction.
Brought back memories right there.
Hey man, it's just funny how some shit stick with you forever.
The fucking lamest show on the planet. The lamest movie.
I don't know why. I don't know why they give a fuck about the NCAA. You know what I hope happens? I hope they shut the fuck up about it soon, because I don't want to walk downstairs and see them bitching about how. And here's what I don't want to. It's like somehow I feel like they're gonna say it's racist, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know it's coming, right?
It is
For if they're racist against college players, like, oh Jesus.
All topics are racist
Yeah.
or they're
Yeah.
politicized.
Yeah, exactly.
Something. I'm just, that's the other thing is we'll segment into it, is like we can't escape that anymore.
Nope.
No,
You can't.
people love it.
We don't, I don't think they do. I think it's forced on us. I think most people are tired. I remember my dad joined, my stepdad, he joined the Masons. Okay, you know what those secret
Yeah.
handshake motherfuckers, right? So if you Mason, you watch this, don't come after me. I don't know anything about it. I'm innocent, right? So
We got him where we want.
yeah, exactly.
I'm a fucking Mason.
And so he said, hey, when you come up here to the Masonic Lodge, right? Because my dad one time he was like the steward. And the steward, like part of his job, stew man, right? Part of his job was bring the food. Or at least that's what they convinced my dad. He wasn't a sharp guy anyway. So he brings the food, and I'm helping him carry the food up there into the lodge that they're going to have this big retreat and eat and all this stuff, right? And he says, there's only 2 rules in the Masonic Lodge. And I'm like, all right. He goes, no religion talk and no politics. And I thought, I was a young man at this time, and I thought, throughout most of our lives, people always say, hey man, don't talk about religion, don't talk about politics, right? Don't tell people how you vote. Mind your own goddamn business, and don't tell people how you vote. Don't express your political beliefs. And about 2010, that changed. People started really voicing a lot more on Facebook, and politics kind of found its way through social media, Twitter and Facebook especially. And then Facebook started making the top trending stories politics all the time. Then you went from, one channel, CNN, to shit, there's like at least 15 news channels now. It's on TV. Hollywood won't shut the fuck up about it. You watch an award show, they're like fucking, I'd like to thank the Academy for this award. Trump is a terrible president, right? Like they just like, shut the fuck up, man. Can we not get a break from it anywhere? And now we see this past Sunday in the NFL, right? And now they're doing it in baseball and everything else with taking knees and stuff like that. I don't give a fuck for taking a knee or not. This shit doesn't affect me. My paycheck's still good. It's like our buddy Marshall Silver says, whether you buy today or not, my check will still remain the same, and I'll still go home to my wonderful house, right?
My wonderful wife,
yes,
my beautiful
exactly.
bride.
Whether they take a knee or not, I'm driving home to McLaren from work today, right? And so that doesn't affect me. But it's like, can we not get a break from this shit?
It's the clicks, man. The best thing I've
Unions.
saw. You could think that maybe there's somebody behind the strings pulling strings or whatever, but the thing that people have been talking about is it's all for the clicks. Somebody has to do it to get more clicks. It's everybody
Oh,
on
you mean
each
link
side.
clicks?
Link clicks, yeah,
Yeah,
link
like
clicks to the
clickbait.
websites.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can do it on CNN, they can do it on TV and get the same kind of reaction. They've been doing it on CNN, Fox News for a long time, just playing both sides. But like as far as the clicks go, they'll do anything to get more clicks.
Yeah.
That's where all the money's at right now.
Yeah, I think people like it though. Like a lot of, you have to, you know, you can't forget, man, we're like, you know, 1%, we're hanging around certain people, we're not out there watching cable television. But those people who are wanting to feel, you know, oppressed and
We see people watch it every day.
all the time, it gives them an excuse why their life sucks. Oh, this is this, and it just makes it easy. They don't have to actually sit there and handle their problems. You know, I cancel my cable. I don't really watch TV that much. If I do, I'll watch Netflix, but I don't have to see none of that bullshit. And I think a lot of people, they like it because it gives them a reason to, you know, cop out on how their life's going, you know.
It wasn't like that back in, I don't think it didn't seem like it was too much like that. I remember in 2008 when Obama won, and it was just like, it was like, okay, he wasn't the person I wanted to win, but neither was,
Really?
but none of them, either
I
one of
wanted
them.
Obama to win the first time.
Well, the first time I was
The other
like,
guy was a fucking jerk off. Who was it?
well, found out
Romney?
he was, no, McCain.
McCain was a
Found out
fucking
he was
jerk off too. McCain
they
still is
were
a
all,
jerk off.
but see, I've always known all of them are crooks. Every last
Yeah.
one of them was a crook. You
Yeah,
know
but
what
I
mean?
believed in Obama, right? We didn't know he was all fucked up.
Oh, I knew he
and I don't
was.
think he was. I think Obama wasn't a crook in the first place. I think he got in there and he's like, oh shit, Michelle, I won, right? And they're like, listen, this is what you got to do. And he didn't fucking know any better because he was like the fucking. Have you ever seen that movie with Chris Rock? Where Chris Rock is like the local city council guy, and he's like, dude, we could get this black guy to run for president, and then like he keeps winning, and they don't expect him to win. I'm like, I feel like that's Obama's story, right? But he didn't have any experience, and he's like, what were the chances of him winning? Really, like McCain was like a war hero and all this fucking other shit, and then here's like Obama, some dude from Chicago with he's been a senator for a few months or some shit like that, but he crushed it because we believed in him. You know, they say it's because he was a good speaker. I don't think he was a good speaker. We believed in him. We're like, here's a motherfucker that's like, he's not too caught up in this stuff, and we believed him. So
that was most of the American people.
That's what I felt, you know.
That's majority, just like it was this last time, that feel like that he should have won, which I thought he was a crook in it, from the get go. But it's opposed to like how you're viewing him, as far as like how he was this guy who came out of nowhere and
That's what I
should have
thought
had
about
all odds against him. That's Trump.
Yeah. The second term for Obama, I'm like, oh man, he ain't doing what he said he was going to do. But my first favorite president of all time is Trump. Like I'm like, he's like number 2 is Obama. It's not Bush or anybody else in my lifetime.
Obama didn't. I mean,
if we wouldn't have got, if like Hillary would be our president right now, then Obama would still be my favorite president of all time. You know, nothing he did affected me other than the Dodd-Frank thing, but it changed my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, it changed and because of that, I've changed thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people's lives. You know?
just see them as like people who are just trying to make money off the
Yep.
backs of the American people,
Yep.
and I don't really like harbor any ill will. And he's a lot better than Bill Clinton. You know what I mean? So,
or Bush, right? Ain't
Or
nobody
Bush,
flying
you know,
on no
yeah.
towers and shit
Yeah,
on his
we did-
watch. You know, we ain't lose a bunch of American lives on his watch and stuff. So, so back to the taking a knee thing. Here's what I noticed, man, and I'm gonna say this out of love, right? For people, I'm on team people. You know, a lot of motherfuckers ain't on team people. They're on team me, right? They're all about themselves. So like Zig Ziglar used to say, "What's in it for me?" Radio, right? WIIFM, right? What's in it for me, right? And so, a lot of people, that's what they're. I'm on team people though. You know, I'm driving to work and I'm like, these people don't even know, but I fucking love them. You know, like they're fucking stupid. They're honking horns at each other. They fucking crashing into each other, making me late for work. I still love these motherfuckers, right? And the thing is, I'm on Team America before anything else, right?
Yep.
And they're trying to, I don't know who they are, right? I don't have a fucking answer for that. But they're trying to divide us.
Yeah.
You know, because here's what they're doing with our language. Let's say these gentlemen in professional sports are taking a knee against racism. I'm fucking for that. You know, I'll take a knee with you too, you know? But the news and shit twisted around, they're taking a knee against white people, or they're taking a knee against the president, or they're taking a knee against the national anthem, or they say the military. It's like, well, who the fuck you taking a knee from, right? Somebody needs to be fucking clear, because here's the thing, if you're taking a knee because you don't want to be involved with the military, then fuck you. You know what I mean? But if you're taking a knee because you don't want to be involved in some racism, I'm on your team.
Yeah.
And so we need to be clear, but the media is fucking distracted to where it's just like, if you're white, you voted for Trump, you're automatically racist, right? The fucking media is just trying to include this shit, so they're saying, if you took a knee, you took it for all these things. But maybe fucking the dudes that go out there and took a knee, like, I don't know, it's Colin Kaepernick guy or whatever, but maybe he took a knee for the wrong thing, but now everybody else has come together and they're taking a knee for the right thing, and the news keeps twisting it on us. And so I think that everybody on Facebook right now is arguing whether they should have taken a knee or not. And I think what's happening is whoever they are, they're trying to divide us, right? They're trying to put professional athletes against veterans. They're trying to put white people against black people, trying to put man versus woman, gay versus straight. Because here's what I know about our great country. If we stand together, can't nobody fuck with us. Nobody. Nobody.
We're a super country.
We are. And then the rest of the motherfuckers want to be on our team. We got the kickball team on the Sandlot. The motherfuckers like, I'm going to be on first world team. There's a reason why we're first world, because we won 2 fucking back-to-back wars. We were together then, though. Right?
Yeah.
Our grandparents didn't fucking yell at each other and argue politics and troll each other's fucking conversations. And so we've got these politicians that have been fucking paid by foreign interests that have infiltrated our fucking country that are trying to fucking, man, if they could figure out a way to pit white person against white person, they would, or black person against black person. They're trying to divide us because the United States divided is not united at all. Right? And if we get to fucking war with each other, we got powerful weapons. We're the only country in the world with guns. You know, we go to war with each other again, then it's fucking over, and the rest of the world's laughing at us. They're over there fighting over skin color and dumb shit.
Yeah.
Still happening.
We're all a bunch of hairless monkeys that sweat salt water and fucking emit methane gas, right? Like, no matter what color your skin is, those two things still, like, that should just be enough to fucking, like, hey, man, you know? And the truth is, most of us, you know, like most people, period, aren't racist. Most black people aren't racist. Most white people aren't racist. Most Mexican. Sure, there's racist people in every segment of everything. You try to go to South Asia and you're a black man, they will not fucking let you in, right? If you try to go to South Asia and you're Buddhist, they will not fucking let you in some places, or Muslim in some places. And so there's gonna be hate groups and racism and shit that always exists, but it's not, it's like my entire life, the only time I ever met any kind of like Nazi, it was in prison, and even those guys were friends with the black dudes, right? Like, so they weren't even real, that was just like the gang that they identified with. And I'm not taking up for them or sympathizing for them, fucking telling the truth.
Well, they say, and you know, there's people out there that say, the unfortunate thing is they say stuff like, well, you know, that people are racist on a micro level. Yeah. You know, that you're just...
Your microaggressions,
microaggressions, which is bullshit.
What do they call it? A dog whistle. Somebody said that. Remember that guy
dog
called me a
whistle
dog
said that
whistle?
about you on Twitter.
Called me a dog whistle.
So that's the bullshit. It's like...
Yeah, like when you're on the cool racism, like you say some shit with race, like if you said you people and you just meant to those people, but they're like you people, it's like they call that a dog whistle.
And inherent, some say inherent, that we have
The
it inherently
implication.
in it, and that we're just like that.
That's retarded as fuck.
That's retarded as fuck, but that's a problem.
Homeboy said he was a double agent. I was like, you're probably on their team. And he's like, you're a dog whistle. I'm like, their team? You said you're a double agent. You're probably on the other side. The shit you're talking about against our president. But he took it as like, since he was brown skinned, he took it as if it was like you people type of thing.
But
like,
he wants to attack you.
But he wanted to attack me,
attack you for your ideas,
about,
and then he wants to use that to silence you.
I'm so glad I don't play that game anymore. That was a long time ago. But I'm glad that I just stopped fucking with social media. David Goggins told me he was going to kick my ass if I stopped playing. He might as well have. That's what I feel like, you know. But he said, man, why you read that shit? I'm like, you're right. Why do I? You know? And I got Roxanne. The R in Roxanne stands for reading Ryan shit. And so...
anything with any kind of skin color, to me, like people talking about this, like you're just a fucking idiot. You know, either any color, any
that's
color.
how you base your decisions. That's fucking moronic, man.
And it's still going on, and I don't give a fuck. It's 2017. There's still retarded motherfuckers here. There's always been retarded motherfuckers here. There always will be. And so, you know, that's just something we're gonna have to live with.
Yeah.
But fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, racism should need to stop, man. That's sad. I don't know.
Dude, it's a
People
trouble.
are
It's a
actually
trouble.
Racist.
Me neither.
You know, and I have all
But you know
sorts of
what? We
types of
see
friends.
people, but here's what happens. Here's what happens. We don't know anybody who's racist, but we know people that use the N-word inappropriately. You know what I'm saying? And we've even had clients, you know, a client before that guy's running for be a politician. Yeah, go figure. You know what I'm saying? The one dude that we know clearly is a racist that we don't do business with anymore is now running for anyway. So here's what I do know. Like, you know, if you read let's say you're a 60-year-old person, you got a little bit different view of people of color. You're coming up because they were just leaving that era, and your parents probably felt a little different. Like whether you're black or white, whatever your color was, you felt a little different because shit was fucked up then, right? It's pretty cool now, but shit was fucked up then. And so you wake up and you're a 50-year-old dude, and you read some news about black guy kills white guy, trying to divide you, right? And you're like, this is just like my daddy said, you know? Black guys are not to be trusted. And then you get on Facebook where you got a voice for the first time, like my daddy said, don't trust the N-words, right? And like normally you would have never had that thought, right? But the news keeps driving that fucking reiteration of your dad shit home. Don't trust black people. Don't trust black people. Or if you're a black dude reading it, it's the white dudes. Don't trust white people. Don't all white people are racist. There's neo-Nazis in Dallas, Texas. All this shit, you know. And then like they wake up and that's the first thing they see, and they say outrageous racist shit towards each other that they would they would meet in the hallway and never fucking talk that way to each other. They'd be just as happy to meet each other and share a pew at church or whatever the fuck. But the internet has fucked some people up, man.
Yeah, man.
The problem is, my number one rule in life, really it's my only rule in life, don't do nothing behind the scenes that you wouldn't do in front of the fucking entire world, right? There ain't nothing that I went from taking a shit to masturbating to whatever I do in front of the whole fucking world. If you want to watch and you're weird like that, that's fucking on you, right? I'm not ashamed of anything that I do, because if there's something I'd be ashamed of, I just wouldn't fucking do it, right? And so I treat social media the same way. I just like, hey, don't do nothing on social media that I wouldn't do in this room. You know, if I wouldn't call you some shit and tell you to fuck off sitting in the room with you, I'm damn sure not going to do it on Facebook, because these days plane tickets are cheap anyway, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't live by that though. You know, there's a episode of South Park where Randy gets behind the computer and he's like trolling all these people and all that stuff, right? And he's like the nicest guy in the fucking world, and he gets behind the computer and he's this like evil troll. And I think people just got the fucking lines blurred there. And like, listen, people, PSA, act the fucking same. Act like you're still a human when you're on social media. Like, we're still on team people. Like, every day you're telling people to fuck off that are amazing individuals that maybe if we just fucking started telling the media to fuck off, instead of consistently getting in front of you and fucking triggering your amygdala, because that's all they do. It's a fucking magic trick, folks. Yeah. And so, you know, if we just started fucking acting the same way, and guess what? Because I act the same way on and off social media, you know, I've got 250,000 followers. We built a huge business. We run completely on transparency. We tell people how much money that we make, and they're proud of us. Yeah. You know, people say, man, you inspire me in my journey. You know, but there was a time where I used to let the trolls get to me. I had to get that newsfeed eradicator on them.
There's trolls out there, some of them, the devil's advocate here is like the thing about trolls is that they also like provoke the truth. They provoke an emotion that they say that sometimes they can say the truth, you know.
The truth pisses you
off. But you
off.
tell the truth though. Like you tell people straight up what's up. So and you don't have anything to hide, and they can't do shit to you anyway. So that's the silver lining in that one. So but some people have jobs where they'll get fucked over if they say certain things. That's the world we live in right now. So
we know that is in our group, Sales Talk with Sales Pros. If you're not a member, you can join at salestalkgroup.com. But we've had people that have said some shit about, you know, these fucking bullshit clients or whatever, and somebody screenshot it, sent it to their boss, and cost them their job.
It's fucking bullshit. I mean,
why? You wouldn't do that in real life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I walked down the hall and I heard you bitching to Pat about a client that you have, I wouldn't no more give two fucks about that. And neither would anybody else. But yet, since it was on social media, people screenshot it, send it to your...
That person hates themselves. You know,
yeah, for real.
They
for
hate
real.
them fucking selves, and they want to make someone else feel fucking shitty about their life, you know, because it'll make them feel better that they destroyed someone else's life. Man, that's pussy shit. You know, it's like if people saw me in real life, I'm 6'3", I'm 210, like, I've done martial arts my whole life. If the shit you said to me on social media, you would say to my face, you would never do that.
Never.
Never fucking do that if you saw me face to face. So it's just, man, these people, they're cowards. They hide behind their computer screens, you know.
It's funny you say I was getting lunch earlier, and the lady behind it's the dude, the pizza guy. He's like, oh, hey, man, you're with those guys, huh? What do you guys do? Y'all have a workout program or something like that? You guys are all jacked. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, they know who we are. And again, people talk shit to us on the internet. They would never say things to us in real life, you know?
And we're like legit, like cool ass people. Like,
yes, very nice. We're here to change the world.
Nice
yeah.
I'm a nice guy. Like, we really are like cool people. It's like just amazing that people, they just want to just talk shit to make themselves feel better, to ruin someone else's day. Man, that's...
They're projecting.
Well, it's this, man. When we were cavemen, when you leave the cave, you had to go out and be hungry enough to kill something, right? Like the Indians, they would have to slit a buffalo's throat, and they would like meld spirits with that motherfucker, right? Well, we don't do that anymore. We get hungry, we just get like hangry, and we go to Wendy's and we get a 99-cent burger and we eat it, right? There's no connection with the food, you know. There's no fight. I killed you. I'm hungry. I'm angry. And so what happens is, and then we eat this food that wasn't free range, and it was kept in a cage with these negative emotions and feeling, and we take that too. And what happens to us is it starts building all this negative energy and anxiety. And so we're supposed to be genetically predisposed to go be mad enough to chase down a living thing and fucking eat it. Do you know how savage that sounds in 2017? But I mean, it sounds fucking savage, doesn't it? You're fucking gonna go hunt something down and fucking kill it, eat it.
Trying to hunt down a bear with your bare hands?
That's what I'm saying, right? But people did that shit, right? But I mean, it sounds savage as fuck, right? Instead, it's like I'm going to the grocery store to get a steak. Well, what happens is we've still got to get that savagery out of us. We've still got to get that fucking I need to kill something out of us, and we don't. And what happens is we have this anxiety, and it turns into you're the N-word, right? Like, because they're not fucking letting it out of them, and it's some fucking misbelief that's triggering that amygdala, and the amygdala was meant to be triggered that if you were chasing the tiger to fucking eat it, and all of a sudden its cousin showed up to get the fuck out of there, right? Yeah. But now we use it as like fucking Trump's put a nuclear ban on blah, blah, blah. And it like zones in. They figured out how to hypnotize us, man.
Savage is almost what you're trying to say.
Well, no. And so, what we're doing is our savagery used to be mad enough to eat something, but now it's coming out in the form of fucking, spurts on the internet.
Yeah. That's fucking, that makes a lot of damage.
Because, man, you'll do some different shit when you're hungry than when you're normal, right? We laugh and say hangry, but I know I've fucking caused a fucking havoc when I have an empty stomach, And that's because that's making you mad enough to go fucking kill something because you're fucking starving to death, And that's nature's way of making you do that. So we don't have that urge anymore. You get that fucking hangry, everybody kind of pats you on the butt and's like, you're a little hangry. Go, here's a Snicker, Joe Pesci. Yeah.
We have Snickers.
Yeah.
We do.
And so what happens is we don't let that anxiety out. And so people troll each other looking for that fight, right? But it's a safe fight.
Yeah.
Back when we grew up, Biggie and Tupac got in a beef, they fucking shot each other. Meek Mill and Drake be fucking
Young
tweeting
Dolph
love
got
songs
shot.
to each other and shit.
Hey, Young Dolph got shot
Yeah, I heard
the other
about that
day.
old
Young Dolph.
You know what, man?
Did he live?
Yeah, he lived. Yeah, but
I'm
I
just
think
gonna say
his name
this.
set
You
up.
got to be a stupid motherfucker to make it out of the hood and still fuck with hood people. I don't fuck with none of those people I came from, just like Steve Harvey said, you ain't getting in my paycheck, motherfucker. You ain't messing with my job. You got to be stupid as fuck to get away from, I got old friends, right? White, black, whatever color you want to fucking crayon you want to get. I got friends from the hood that were pieces of shit, right? And as soon as I started making money, I did this, right? Nobody was there to fucking counsel me. As soon as I started making money, I hired some of my friends from the hood. These motherfuckers were terrible. They fucked off my office. They didn't fucking work. They demanded fucking raises and fucking loans and shit like that, right? And they fucking, the first lesson in business, I tried to bring the hood with me and they fucking brought me down. Yeah. Never again. I cut ties with every fucking one of them. Every fucking one of them. Came out and picked fucking strangers. I didn't know Lindsay from shit when I hired her. Roxanne, I didn't know her either. I knew her husband, but not her. And I've done, I'm telling you, you can't fucking have millions of dollars hanging out with people that are broke. You can't fucking do it, man. They will put you in fucked up situations. And if I was to guess, they say it was gang related, but if I was to guess, Young Dolph, there's somebody really close to him that fucking made that happen. You know what I mean? Somebody act like they like you and shit like that, but they know where you keep your gold chains. And as soon as you fall down there, all of a sudden you're safe. Oh shit, you still alive? My bad, man. I was just counting your shit, making sure it's here.
They know you well enough to know where you were going to be in a spot where they could shoot you.
It's always some dude. Hey man, Judas sold out Jesus. Boy, that sounded some fucking magical shit right there, right? You're like, dude, he just went fucking biblical on us. Jesus. Hey, but that's it, man. Judas was his fucking favorite homeboy. If you read the Gospels, Judas was his fucking dog. Sold him out, man. It's always somebody close to you,
But Judas did he saw miracles and shit, or does he just maybe Judas was he was the one that was this guy's full of shit, man.
Judas, he gave into the temptations of the flesh, man. Judas was like, oh, you got some shillings? I love shillings. Yeah. that would be today. It's like, oh, you got McLaren? I love McLarens.
Well, what if he's like Chris Angel, the mind freak, and he's got his crew with him, right?
Yeah,
and everybody thinks that Chris.
Okay, that could work. I can see the correlation.
Yeah,
right.
all he does is see videos
right.
of Chris Angel doing shit, because that's what Chris Angel does, and he's like, man, I got a feeling this guy's not really doing actual magic. Maybe it's just a fucking illusion, Yeah. Maybe he's the one guy that said that. Maybe Judas was the one guy that called him out,
Jesus, I'm tired of your shenanigans. 10 shillings to the highest bidder, right?
Those aren't real magic tricks. Those aren't real magic.
The water was shallow.
That's fucked up.
There was more bread in the bag.
I brought those fish.
Oh yeah, he's like, what is it, Penn and Teller, right? Like he's like a modern Penn and Teller. He's like, it's bullshit. Here's how we can break it down.
Here's what we can do now. Oh my goodness.
Maybe that's why King James had it rewritten in the 1500s, right? Maybe
Yep.
originally it was the breakdown.
And everybody hated Judas because they were like, you just fucking ruined
You
it,
just
man.
red
It was
pilled.
all-
You just red
it was
pilled everybody.
all great.
Yeah, you ruined Chris Angel's show. We thought that bitch was really cut in half.
We thought did you see her chasing around? How did they do that? How did they do that?
Do you remember that show on NBC, Magic Tricks Exposed, where the guy had like the mask and he was showing people how they actually
Yeah.
did the magic? He
People
was
were
so
pissed.
scared. Yeah, he was so scared that he had to wear a mask
It's
on
on
stage.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, that's good stuff, man.
I was like, oh my God, that's
Chris
how they did
Angel.
it. It's all fake, man. It broke my heart
It's
when I
all
found
fake,
that
it
out.
is, man. I watched the behind the scenes thing. I was like, so that's how they do all that shit? I was like, that's genius.
I watched something the other day, and it was Chris Angel, and it was a movie, and Chris Angel played a part in the movie. Like it was this couple, and the dude had always been talking shit about Chris Angel, and what movie was that? Man, it's a brand new movie. I just watched it the other
He
day.
was talking shit about Chris Angel.
The whole movie.
Are
and
you
then
talking about David Blaine?
No, and then they end up meeting Chris Angel. It was in the movie.
Yeah.
And then Chris Angel like hypnotized this guy to like do a bunch of stupid shit on stage, man. It was funny as hell.
Really?
Man, what movie was that? I got figured out.
Mind freak.
Chris Angel.
Pretty cool the other
I
day.
saw him in Vegas one time. It's pretty,
I saw
Yeah, you talk to Marshall, man. He'll hypnotize you.
yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't hypnotize y'all while you were there.
He's met Marshall. He went to dinner with us.
Yeah, I don't want to be hypnotized. I want to be able to hypnotize.
Oh, you want to hypnotize peeps?
Yeah. That way when you start getting libby. Yeah.
Marshall's good people,
Yeah,
man.
he's good,
I
man.
like him. All right, let's see what movie he's in. Filmography. We're trying to look from 2007. He was just like a little standby. Oh, it was Andrew Dice Clay. Yeah, so Andrew Dice Clay's got a show on Showtime called Dice.
Oh,
This
yeah.
shit's funny as fuck, right? And
I've
so
seen that.
Andrew's like, fucking mind freak this motherfucker, right? And then he like did this Jedi shit to him and had him like doing a bunch of stupid shit on stage. It was pretty damn funny,
Hey
man.
man, that shit is real, dude. When I saw
Oh, yeah.
hypnotize those people on stage,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
real. This one lady, man, I felt so bad for her. Like she was kind of like coming in and out, and she was just like I was like, oh, fuck, this shit was like demonic almost. I was like, fuck, I'm never gonna do that.
The
It's
best
crazy,
part of
man.
that show, and like Marshall covered up for it great, but the best part of that show was there was like this Asian lady, but she looked like a dude. And he's like, sir, come over here. And she's like, my name is Christy. And he's like, ma'am, no problem. Right? He just like fucking played right into it.
Yeah.
It was like, dude, you cut your hair like a fucking dude. You look like a dude. You can't get all offended when you have to look in the mirror and go, I look fucking masculine, right?
Yeah,
It's like you were
exactly.
going for that look. You couldn't get mad. Everybody kind of looked all like they were kind of offended. Marshall's like,
They just kept
It'd
moving.
be like-
her hair was cut like yours, bro. That's
It's
not a
not-
fucking
it was
chick's
like-
haircut.
It'd be
you
like
know?
if I had a long
Honestly.
blonde ponytail and I looked in the mirror every day, I'd be like, you kind of look a little hot today, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
You kind of look
Looks good today.
He fucking covered. He's like, sometimes you get a sir, sometimes you get a ma'am. Come with me.
Right down, man.
That's the worst if you're ever driving down the street and you see like somebody in the, like looking in the car or something bent over with fucking long blonde hair and you drive by and realize it's a dude. Y'all ever had that shit happen before?
Oh man, when I worked at the car wash,
Yeah, like motherfucking liar, goddamn it.
when I worked at the car wash, like there's a canopy, and then the line to the road outside of the canopy. So you vacuum the cars onto the canopy, and then there was a line outside the canopy to the road, right?
Yeah.
So when people would come in, the sun would shine up on their windshield. And I'd be like, oh, hell yeah, she's hot, man. And then they would pull up, and it'd be like a dude, right?
Yeah,
Like, because you
fuck.
couldn't really see. But the reflection would be funny. It's like, oh, dude, man, we've been waiting for a hot shit. Oh, hey, hello, sir. Like, it would get you.
It happens, man.
Yeah.
It's like I'm never gonna tell anybody. Huh?
I'll tell you about that time in the Philippines when I was in the military.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh,
Here
here
we
we
go
go.
with this
Please
one, the
share.
Philippines.
We were
Yep.
like going down the street, man. We were like trying to get some like dog on a stick or something to eat, for a little snack.
What flavor dog you think's the best?
The big white ones, the big white fluffy dogs are
Really?
the best, is what
I mean,
people
I
say.
ate dog and it was kind of, it wasn't bad. You know what I'm saying?
Did you eat a
I felt
fluffy one?
bad. But like back then I was a lot more heartless, man. Like I couldn't eat a dog now, you know what I mean? I got
Back then you were like,
But if it was already dead and cooked, you know what I'm saying, and you were hungry,
Yeah.
like, you got to be mad enough to kill something, son. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But anyways, man, me and my boys were walking
Kill
down
a
the
little
street, man, and in the Philippines there's like transvestites everywhere. But there's like these 4 girls like walking across the street, and there was like a taller one. I was like, man, that bitch has got some of the baddest fucking legs I've ever seen. The baddest fucking legs I've ever seen. I was like, oh, let's go talk to these hoes. And we walk up over there, and they're all girls, and the one motherfucker I was complimenting was a dude. And I was like, the guys were all hating on me earlier. I was like, man, that dude still had the nicest legs I've ever seen. I was like, that dude had great calves, great thighs. But where I was at far away, you got good legs, okay?
You ever seen that
You
episode
gotta be
of...
careful, man. You gotta be fucking careful out there.
You ever seen that episode of Entourage where Johnny Drama's like, bro, you got great calves, man. Like, how do you get these? He's like, dude, stop staring at my legs, man. Like, the whole movie's trying to find out if they're real and what doctor he used to get them and shit like that. And the guy's like, I'm not gay. He's like, I'm not gay either, bro. I just want to see your legs, man.
That's fucking hilarious.
You ever watch
Tell you what,
Entourage?
I watch it. I watched a few seasons. of
Best
it.
show
I
ever.
watched the movie. I haven't watched the season.
Oh, man.
you
the
seen the
season's
whole
best
thing?
show.
Have you seen it
Yes.
all the way through?
Like, I've seen them 4 times at least each. Like, I come home, I just turn on Entourage, man, because it's like, that's the life I want to live. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, those
Life to
dudes are
live,
like
man.
4 best friends just fucking doing their thing, you know?
Exactly.
Kind of living it, man.
Yeah.
We're there, man.
Yeah, we're working on it, man.
Kind of like what's going on here.
You know, everybody's always like, you be Ari Gold. It's like, no, I'd be Vinny Chase, man. You know, like Ari Gold, I don't know who that would be on our team, but we got several of them. But like, you know, shit, that's the dream life. It's like, not from an actor standpoint, but like you being the guy that's the rainmaker that fucking helped the whole crew out, you know? So,
Legit way to be.
yeah, nothing wrong with that, man. Well, I think that's it for this week, man. Unless you guys got anything else you want to talk about.
Pretty hard again this time.
You know?
Yep, I'm good, man.
So this is episode 4 in the books.
Crazy, man.
I want to
Just
say
rolling
though,
right through.
I just became a partner in a nutrition company. So if you're taking supplements, if you're taking pre-workout, protein, all that stuff, head over to integritydrivennutrition.com. Again, that's integritydrivennutrition.com. And make the switch to our stuff. It's better, right? I'm going to have all sorts of cool stuff coming on the show as we get more tuned into this, man. But we bought this company for a reason. We believe in the products and the ingredients that go into it. So head over to integritydrivennutrition.com and check out what we got for you. Later. Cool.